Endometriosis is a terrible disease that can cause pain and infertility. Can your diet cause or worsen endometriosis? Can changing your diet cure or prevent endometriosis? Are there supplements which can treat endometriosis? Stay tuned. What is endometriosis? Your uterine cavity is lined with layers of specialized cells called endometrium. Your endometrium changes in response to hormones from your ovaries. These changes allow an embryo to implant in order to produce a pregnancy. In people with endometriosis, these cells can be found outside the uterine cavity in the abdomen. Just like their counterparts inside the uterus, these cells can grow and change in response to your hormones. These changes can cause a variety of problems like inflammation or scar tissue, which can then lead to pain or infertility. The only way to reliably diagnose endometriosis is to look inside the abdomen during a surgical procedure called a laparoscopy. We know that estrogen can cause endometriosis to grow and spread, but how did these cells implant in the abdomen in the first place? In other words, what causes endometriosis to start? Could what you eat cause you to develop endometriosis? To answer this question, researchers looked at a long-term study in nurses. In this study, over 100,000 nurses were followed. They ranged in age from 26 to 42, and none of them had been diagnosed with endometriosis before. They answered questions about their diet and lifestyle and were followed for many years. Over the years of the study, 3,800 of those nurses were diagnosed with endometriosis, which was confirmed with laparoscopy. The researchers found that nurses who reported consuming more than 2 servings of red meat per day had a 56% higher risk of laparoscopically confirmed endometriosis compared to women consuming less than 1 serving per week. They did not find a relationship with chicken, fish, or eggs. Several studies have looked at the impact of dairy consumption. There seemed to be a very mild protective effect from consuming dairy products, though they could not reach any conclusions about whether high-fat or low-fat dairy was best. Several studies looked at the impact of fruits and vegetables. Some showed a higher risk for endometriosis and some showed a lower risk. So overall, no definitive conclusion can be made. Interestingly, the same nurses study that I talked about earlier looked at fruits and veggies that have higher levels of pesticides, but also found no relationship to developing endometriosis. 3 studies looked at consuming legumes. None of the 3 showed a significant difference in the chance for developing endometriosis. What about supplements? As is typical, there aren't any good studies in this area. Remember the red meat study from earlier? That was a really good study because it started in people who were not diagnosed with endometriosis at the beginning of the study and followed them over time. We would like to see a study like that to evaluate any supplement which claims to prevent endometriosis. Another type of study would be to take a group of people with laparoscopically proven endometriosis and split them into 2 groups. One group takes a supplement and the other doesn't. We could then see if one group has their endometriosis go away more often than the other, or at least doesn't worsen as much. Unfortunately, none of the supplement makers have chosen to do any studies like these. Here is a list of supplements that have been suggested to treat or prevent endometriosis. None of these have any high-quality studies to back up their claims. Our Infertility TV bottom line is this: if you are worried about developing endometriosis in the future, there is pretty good evidence that avoiding red meat may help. The evidence that eating more dairy products will help is less certain. There is no evidence that any other dietary intervention or supplement will reduce the chances for developing endometriosis, and there is no evidence that any diet will help get rid of endometriosis if you have already been diagnosed with it. Infertility TV is your most trusted source for accurate information on infertility and miscarriage. If you are not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button right now. A new episode is released every week. Don't miss any episodes. You can also check us out on our website, ivf1.com, where you can become a patient.